Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Jedi Mantis Tastes. Apologies up front for last month's episode that came out this month. I did explain in the description box I had to work a long stretch without a day off, which took over the last half of the month for me, so I wasn't able to get on and upload it. But it isn't being put back to September. It is August's video, and this one is going to be September's video. And today we are trying the Balvenie, or the Balvenie Caribbean cask, extra matured in rum casks, aged 14 years, distilled at the Balvenie distillery, which is in Banffshire in Scotland, in Dufftown. So it is a Speyside, Dufftown, a big region for malt whisky. It's specially selected Balvenie, finished in casks that previously held rum that had been distilled in the Caribbean, so hence the Caribbean cask. We're going to quickly move through the back of the tube here. Caribbean cask, traditional crafts of malt whisky making still flourish at the Balvenie distillery. The Balvenie distillery has been owned and managed by the same independent family company for 5 generations. Nowhere else will you find a distillery that still grows its own barley, still malts in its own traditional floor maltings, and still employs a team of coopers to tend all the casks and a coppersmith to maintain the stills. So yeah, a team of coopers. I'm surprised it's not owned by Bowser. So this is the 5th rare craft, is that of the malt master David Stewart. We find on the front his signature. Over 50 years of experience enables him to skillfully use different types of cask and different ages of spirit to craft the Balvenie range of single malts. Each expression has a distinctive taste, but all share a rich, honeyed character. There's also a link, www.thebalvenie.com/warehouse24. Warehouse24 is the Balvenie's community for whisky enthusiasts who want to delve a little deeper into the world of the handcrafted single malt. We've got on the side here, there's little bits of text all over the place. Our own cooperage, our coopers' skills are passed down through the generations. The tools they use are often as old as the craft itself. And then the last little bit on the front, further maturation in the Caribbean rum casks enhances the Balvenie's vanilla notes whilst adding a spicy aromatic qualities to the whisky. It's a 700ml bottle, 43% volume, and the Balvenie distillery established in 1892, so quite a good age to the distillery, and good that it's held the same owner company for 5 generations. Taking the bottle out, you can see the simplistic brown label, which is a nice touch. I like that brown, with it being the Caribbean cask and you think of rum. In my head, when you think of pirates and the rum, the Pirates of the Caribbean and such, I always think of this sort of colour label on the bottles of the rum, and on things like the treasure maps and that you see them. So it's a nice little touch to the bottle being a Caribbean cask. 14 years is a nice age for it as well. Same information we've got, although here, single malt spent many years maturing in traditional whisky oak casks before being transferred to casks that previously held Caribbean rum for a final period of maturation. So it doesn't mention how many of the 14 years were in the rum cask and how many were in the oak cask. Whether that varies, I'm not sure. Same sort of information. We've got the please drink responsibly. We do have again, David Stewart's signature on the bottle and the tasting notes. So we're going to be looking on the nose. Rich, sweet and creamy toffee with fresh fruit notes. The taste should be rounded with vanilla, sweet oak and fruitiness, and then a warm, soft and lingering finish. I will say I'm a little, I don't know whether this is just because it's the bottle I had. I think there was a little cage, because I got this from a supermarket, over the top to protect it from being, I guess, siphoned off in the shop. And obviously stolen. So there is a little bit of damage to the actual labelling, but I guess that is just something that's happened in the supermarket and not something typical of how they ship it out. Having said that, there we go. This has got a nice tear to it though. It's got a bit easier than some of the other foil ones. So we'll take that off. Nice on the top, wooden effect on the top, established on the 1892 date there. It is a cork. Not much of a pop, but we've got our glass. Let's pour some in. Nice little glug there. Let's pop that lid back in, and we'll add, with it being 43, we'll add a little touch more water than we do sometimes, but not much. That'll do. Give this a swirl. Get that mixed up nice. Get right up the edges of the glass. Actually, no, let's not dive straight in. Let's have a look at the colour. So it is a nice deep colour to it. Nice golden, dark, barley sort of colour to it. Fairly clear. Fairly clear on the, if you can see, on the colour. It did cloud touch when I put the water in. There's no information on the bottle to say whether it's chill filtered or not, or if it's a natural colour. So I would assume it's chill filtered and that it is artificially coloured, because they do generally shout about that if they are the cases. Now we'll dive in with the nose. Very pleasant smell. Very fruity. The fruitiness on the nose, is that what we're looking for? Fruit notes definitely there. Does smell rich. Does smell quite a deep, as if it's going to be a deep flavour when it gets in the mouth. Touch of spice in there as well. It smells very nice. Looking forward to this now. So let's have a taste. Hold it in the mouth there for a little while, just letting it coat to the tongue, go all the way over the taste buds. It's very nice. Definitely getting the vanilla. Not picking up so much of the fruit on the tongue. It does say there is fruitiness. Not really picking the fruit up. The spice is quite predominant. Very rich flavour, but not over strong. It doesn't have the burn factor or the tingle factor really. So although it tastes very rich, it's, I guess, rounded is a nice way of putting it. So it's got the flavour without so much of the let's say that burn effect that you get with some whiskies. Very nice. The spices are there, but there's a lot of oak flavour there. So I would obviously it is going to be finished in the oak casks for longer than it is in the Caribbean rum casks. So the Caribbean is just bringing, I say, just that edge of spice to it that is very pleasant on the tongue. Very nice whiskey. The finish, it is warming. I can still feel it down the throat, along the sides of the tongue. But it's a nice lingering feeling. It's not overpowering. Just off the two little sips I've had, excuse me, it leaves you wanting a little bit more. So that's what we're going to do, as we always do. We're going to have a bit without the water, see if we can pick up any differences here. I'm actually recording this video a little bit later on than I normally do, so I don't feel so bad about having a bit more whiskey. And in fact, I'm probably going to take this and have a few more glasses tonight. So you've got that darker colour, a lot more amber in tone. Nice silky texture as it goes around the glass and settles. Quite a thick looking whiskey. When I swirl it there, I don't know if you'll pick this up, it keeps that dip as it swirls around in the bottom. That's nice. It shows it's a nice thick texture to the whiskey. On the nose, not as powerful with the fruit without the water. Obviously it is more compact, as it often is without the water. The water loosens it, that's why we do it. A lot more spice on the nose than the fruit this time. With the water it was more fruit with the spice. It's the oak. The vanilla there as well. Struggling to get the fruit. Maybe the slightest hint of fruit. The back notes of it. But the oak and vanilla really coming through when it's not watered down. Bigger punch from the spice. Bit more of a tingle along the front of the tongue, the front edge. But not unpleasant. Again, predominantly the spice, the richness of it is coming through. Perhaps a bit more of the rummy sort of flavours coming through. Very nice. Not disappointed with this one. No, honestly, I bought this one quite a while ago. I can't remember how much I paid for it. I should have looked that up. It was around £30, and I don't believe it was an offer price. And that was from Sainsbury's, I believe. Perhaps a bit of a residue on the aftertaste on this one, leaving it along the tongue, which is odd, but it isn't unwelcome. It helps with that lingering finish. Just I think with the thickness of the liquid, it's leaving that coating, but it helps keep that flavour, that finish there. Not a bad whiskey, and one that goes down very nice, very well indeed. Undiluted. I wouldn't have guessed a 43%. yeah, it just tastes like a standard 40. I know it's only 3%, but quite often you can taste those small jumps in strength. 43 is what's keeping it on the tongue. Little bit higher towards the burn without the water along the sides of the tongue. Initially on the front, but moving down the tongue. So it's going to continue, and that wave of rich spice is going to move down the throat and warm the stomach. It's very pleasant. Very nice whiskey indeed. That is pretty much it. It is one I'm gonna continue drinking. This one, worth picking up, especially if as I say, it's around £30 normal. So if you can get it in a sale, you'd not do wrong to get it even at full price. It's nothing special. It's not one that you're going to keep for the very best of occasions. It's a one that you would have in that you wouldn't feel bad reaching for whenever you wanted to drink a whiskey. So that's it, the Balvenie Caribbean cask, 14-year-old, aged in, or extra aged in rum cask. One to consider, definitely. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I will try my best to get this one out at a reasonable time this month. Possibly it's going to just come out a couple of days after I've filmed this, so it'll be early in the month. But thank you for watching, and join me next time for another single malt whiskey on Jedi Mantis Tastes. Cheers.